Hi guys, so this week I wanted to talk to you about names. What happens if you keep having a dream about a certain name? What happens if you have a dream about being called a name that you're actually not? Yeah, very, very interesting. But these dreams are very important because usually they talk about our destiny and calling. It could be a character that God is asking you to develop and work on. It could be a character that you already have and God is just affirming it, which would be seen in multiple dreams, or maybe the name being repeated several times in a dream. So I don't typically recommend people to use Google, but for this one, I will. So if you get a name in a dream that you don't understand, it might be your language, it might be another language. I would recommend using Google just to understand the language and maybe the meaning of the name, right? And when you understand the language and the meaning of the name, it will help you to better interpret what God is trying to say. So after you've done that, also go back to the dream and try and understand, who was saying this name. Was it your pastor calling you this? Did you hear a voice, maybe from heaven? Was it Jesus calling you this? It's very important to understand who is calling you this specific name, or who is being called by this specific name. Then the second thing is repetition. So remember the story of the young Samuel who was serving in Eli's temple, and he was sleeping next to the ark. And he was called several times by the Lord before he took up the calling to be a priest. So it's very important to note the repetition of how many times you were called this name, or how many times you heard someone else being called by this name, or how many times you heard this name being mentioned in the dream. So was it mentioned twice? Was it said softly? Was it said loudly? Was it written? All of these things are very important. So as you take note of these things and you're writing the dream down, try to pull these various aspects out of the dream, and they'll better help you to interpret what God is trying to say to you. Cheers.